Hello there, you awakening wonders. Thanks for joining me for Stay Free with Russell Brand. If you haven't been told today that you're loved, let me do it now. We love you. I love you. Gareth loves you. The whole Stay Free team loves you and believes in your freedom and your right to be you. That may not be true of the mainstream, but by Jove, it's true of us. Wherever you're watching this, the whole show is only available exclusively on Rumble. We'll be with you on YouTube for about 20 minutes, but then that hankering for free speech, oh, the sweet rain of freedom will be upon us. Oh, I love it, don't you?
I can almost taste it.
Taste the freedom coming down your neck hole. Hey, you can watch my stand-up special available on Rumble for a limited time for $20. Have a look at what it looks like when it's not moving about. We'll show you a little clip of that later, but it's time now to get on with the news, surely, isn't it? There's been a drone.
Yep.
There's been a drone knocked over near Russia. How can we make this situation worse? Well, I suppose by consulting various warmongers. Those of you that are American, you'll know what Lindsey Graham's all about. And in spite of having the glassy eyes of our Lord Christ, he seems to crave nothing more than sweet lady war. Let's have a listen to him advocating for a little bit more of the old chaos. Later, hey, you've got to stay with us. We've got Kim Iverson. She's going to be on the show later. And once we click over to being exclusively on Rumble, we'll be telling you all sorts of crazy, wacky stuff about January the 6th. I mean, significantly and importantly, what led to that particular event, and are the media exploiting it? Also, one of the main things we're asking today is the world in so much trouble that we're going to have to turn to Donald Trump if we want world peace? Let me know in the chat and the comments what you think. Also, we'll be talking about that financial crisis and how it is actually connected to 2008 and how actually bloody well taxpayers will be made to pay for it, if indirectly. But first, let's look at Lindsey Graham with his sweet, beautiful blue peepers advocating for an escalation in a global conflict because a drone had its feeling hurt. Drone ain't got nobody inside it. Let's have a look.
They shot down our drone. What should our answer be?
Amazing, you know, because like we met Sean Hannity. We went on Fox the other day. Do you remember? Like we was on Tucker Carlson, Greg Gutfield, well, some of the world's sweetest, most adorable people. Met Sean Hannity in a corridor. So mental, wasn't it? Like, and like there was a bit where he was like that, and he's quite a big geezer, isn't he? And I was like, hey, and then there was a conversation.
How far away did you spot him from?
Quite far.
Yeah.
Like, you know, so I had time to organise myself.
I felt like time slowed down.
But, oh, that's Sean Hannity. And I remember some of the things we've said about him, like, oh, he's like a sort of Ken Dole's dad and things like that, you know. But, like, actually, again, he was really nice.
Lovely.
We had a conversation and we got into the areas where we disagree. Let me know in the chat if you think I should go on Sean Hannity, because having spoken to Cornel West, who's our guest on the show tomorrow, I increasingly believe in the necessity of these conversations with people that you don't agree with. We have to find the love in one another. We have to find a new solidarity. Otherwise, we're being divided and conquered. That's basically it. And guess who came up with that? It was the British, the old divide and conquer.
What he was saying about his father and how he was, you know, a working man and all this kind of stuff. It was really sweet.
I know, because I was about to, when I see Sean Hannity out there, I sort of got geared up to start, but then I thought, oh no, I remember, that's that man from the corridor. He's nice.
Yeah.
I'm getting emails and texts off all of these folks now. So it's like, you know, you've got to love people. That don't mean to say you have to agree with people's opinions. There are loads of subjects where we're not sympathetic, or any of us. If we got into it, we're not going to agree with one another. But I tell you what, I'm starting to believe that the neoliberal establishment don't care about the things they claim to, right down to stuff like social justice issues, environmental issues. I think it's all skullduggery. I really do. But listen, look at Sean Hannity, son of Irish folks who's worked hard to get where he is today, talking to this dude, Lindsey Graham, the glassy-eyed advocate for murder. Check it.
Well, we should hold them accountable and say that if you ever get near another U.S. set flying in international waters, your airplane would be shot down. What would Ronald Reagan do right now? He would.
Well, Ronald Reagan, actually, have a look. Ronald Reagan was the person that negotiated peace with Gorbachev. Do you remember that? Like, let's check out this bit. What's important is a couple of years later, a treaty agreed upon between Gorbachev and Reagan, and it was ultimately instantiated by US Secretary of State James Baker. Neither the President nor I, that was under Bush by that time, neither the President nor I intend to extract any unilateral advantages from the processes that are taking place, not only for the Soviet Union, but for other European countries as well, because it's important to have guarantees that if the United States keeps its presence in Germany within the framework of NATO, not an inch of NATO's present military jurisdiction will spread in an eastern direction. How did that go, guys? How's it been going with that old infringement? It's been many's the inch, because even this drone was above the Black Sea. And the Black Sea, if you have a little look at a map or a globe, it's next to Russia. So whilst no one's saying, oh, it's good that they booted that little devil out of the sky, I think it's a little sanctimonious to act like that drone's like some sort of Thomas the Tank Engine of the air that deserves naught but respect. So calling upon the name of Ronald Reagan, because I guess that our man Lindsey Graham saying that he was a sort of a gung-ho militaristic president, and geez, maybe he was. The reality is that he sought a treaty between the Soviet Union, as it then was, and America. Why? Because it's for the good of all humanity to not have ongoing and particularly military conflict between those two nations, even if it's a proxy war. Also, though, if Reagan were alive now, I think what he would actually be saying is, can you please let me out of this coffin? Because he'd be feeling trapped, I think, about this time, wouldn't he, Gal?
He certainly would.
Can't be easy to be in that little box. God bless his eternal soul.
American foreign policy is in free fall. I can't add much to what you've said. All I can tell you is that on multiple fronts, we're in a dangerous situation. Weakness breeds provocation.
That's not a catchphrase, is it?
No.
Weakness breeds provocation. That's turning peace into potential war. That's advocating for escalation. And this is what's happening all over the military. Have a look at this bit of footage on Fox News talking about the drone encounter. We told you yesterday how we're seeing like words like harassment being used and reckless, rapid fire, all of that, like escalating the tension. Have a look at this, and then we'll tell you a fact or two about this Senator Joni Ernst. And
right now, we are getting our first look at new.
Whoa, what's that all about? That's a different clip, was it, that started playing?
I think that might have been this one.
Oh, let's have a look. It wasn't, the counter wasn't going down.
Video showing the moment a Russian jet dumps.
It's different on our monitor. We got, like, the counter's not going down, guys, so have a look at what's on our monitor.
Fuel and collides with the U.S. drone over the Black Sea. You can see it right there.
We're playing a different thing, guys. Can we play the clip that's on the monitor? Get yourselves together in there. Hey, it's human beings back there in the gallery, and they're struggling to keep up with the sheer pace of news that we're conveying.
It's interesting what's going on in the Republican Party at the moment, isn't it? With this, I guess, war, generally speaking, we kind of know that a portion of them are calling for Biden to up the already record and massive budget, military and Pentagon budget, but then you've got certain elements of it, DeSantis being one of them, that are saying we need to, calling for peace and calling to de-escalate things and calling for less money being spent on the military. So they're going to have to work that out. What's the narrative going to be, I guess, by next year's election? It's going to be interesting.
Again, I suppose, because the terminology, taxonomization, and nature of power is changing, it's more helpful than using the terms left and right, Democrat, Republican, to hold in mind the idea of central authority and peripheral voices. And if you use that terminology, you can start to see where the discourse is heading and why there's a need for new alliances. Let's have a look at how, though, Fox News reported on this story, and Joni Ernst, let's think about why this person will be consulted on this issue. Check it.
Right now, we are getting our.
And it's not playing on our monitor. So I said, well, what should we do, Gal?
I guess we'll move on from that clip.
Yeah, maybe that clip don't work on here.
Yeah, maybe not.
Do you think this is since we had James O'Keefe? If you're watching us on YouTube, we're going to only be available on YouTube for a few more minutes. Then we'll be exclusively available on Rumble, where we'll be talking to Kim Iverson, where we'll be reporting on January the 6th, and where we'll be showing you a deep dive presentation on the financial crisis. Let's have a look, though, now at this story.
Getting our first look at new video showing the moment a Russian jet dumps fuel and collides with the U.S. drone over the Black Sea. You can see it right there. You can see the fuel trail being dumped by the Russian jet. You can see it impacting our drone, propellers starting to slow.
Our drone.
Yes,
that's our drone.
That's my favorite drone. That drone only had one more day till it retires.
there a bit on the drone, and then pretty in short order I'm being told that we will go to color bars showing that the drone itself has been incapacitated. We're just watching this all together for the first time. What's your reaction?
It's not Christmas. Why are they making out that it's like some sort of joyful familial event that's taking place here?
When you see that?
Right, correct. And this was over in international airspace. And so the Russians have gotten very aggressive. And you know what? We need to really take very firm action in this. We need to make sure that we're continuing.
So what they're doing is advocating for an escalation. Firm action.
What does firm action mean then?
Means war. It means spend more money. And Joni Ernst, let's have a little look at her previous. She's got, I tell you what I'm going to do. We're going to come off of YouTube now, and what we're going to do is we're going to show you our presentation on the financial crisis. Let's have a look at that in our item. Here's the news. No, here's the effing news. YouTube, if you're watching us on YouTube, click over to watch us on Rumble, where we can do this freely, and then we'll use this opportunity to sort out whatever technical problems we're having. But now, let's have a deeper look at the Silicon Valley bank collapse. Let's have a look at whether or not taxpayers will really end up paying for it. We'll do the stuff